Hey guys, so today I want to talk a little bit about the peer review that we are going to be doing this week, and I want us to think a little bit about some different approaches to giving meaningful feedback. So for this peer review, don't feel like an editor or don't feel like you're wearing the hat of an editor, so to speak. You don't have to go and quote unquote fix every little misstep that you see. If you see a pattern of errors, you're welcome to point that out to the student writer, right? Hey, I'm seeing a lot of grammar missteps, or I'm seeing a lot of syntax missteps, but you don't feel like you have to fix each one of those. Now, if you know there's a sentence that's really missing a lot of commas and you want to do that maybe once to show the student how to put in commas, you're welcome to do so. But you're not the editor. Do not feel like you have to edit the student's paper. Okay, so some approaches to feedback that I find are pretty effective are I wish statements. So rather than you should do this, as a reader, you might say, I wish this. So rather than saying, well, you really should put in more details, you could say, I wish you had further explanation here. Questions can be really useful as well. So again, rather than saying you should, you might say, where's your thesis? I'm not totally seeing where it is, or where's your conclusion? It doesn't really seem like you have one at this point. And then the next ones are all statements of feeling. And again, we've talked about how feelings can't be denied. So if there's a moment where you are really confused by the student writer's work, you're welcome to just say that. I'm confused in paragraph 4 by this sentence. I'm not quite capturing what you're trying to say there, right? And then finally, I'm not sure but statement. So if you're really not sure, you might say, I'm not sure but. Okay? So let's go ahead and look at an example of how we could actually give some meaningful feedback to a student. This comes from a real student's paper. We're not going to look at the whole thing, but I just want to look at the introduction here. So in the United States, the rate of people who have diabetes and that are overweight have dramatically increased. Part of the reason why this number has increased is because of people's bad habits. This terrible eating habit is also known as the American eating culture. The American eating culture consists of big meals and unhealthy choices. The American eating culture also consists of a lot of cheap options for overeating. I'm going to pause this here. Now, I don't know if you're noticing this, but as a reader, I'm beginning to be distracted by a lot of repetitious language, right? So we see eating habit, the American eating culture, the American eating culture, dramatically increased, number has increased, so a lot of that repetitious language. So here, I might highlight it all, and then I could click up here, review, and I might hit new comment, and then I might say, I'm noticing a lot of repeated words. Could you make this part more concise? Right? And so now I've used questions and I statements to let the writer know, hey, there's some repetitious language. Now, I don't know if you noticed this, there's also the who, that mistake. Remember, people are who, things are that. So I might point that out if I wanted to get really picky, but for now, I'm just going to give a broad statement. Okay. Next sentence, there are millions of commercials against the eating habits of American eating culture. At this point, I'm like, I'm not sure, but really, are there millions and millions? So that might be a part where I ask that question or say that. I'm not sure, but. Then finally, let's go down to the thesis. Ultimately, the creator of this commercial challenges the American eating industry so people can take control of what they eat and how they eat. So I really like this sentence. I think it takes a clear stand on the success of this commercial, saying that, it does challenge the American eating industry and helps people take control of what they eat. So I see a clear position being taken on the overall success of the original commercial. And I might say that, like, I enjoy your thesis. I think it makes a clear stand. If it didn't, I might say the opposite. Like, I'm not sure what stand you're taking. I'm not sure that this is debatable. Okay. So this is a few things to keep in mind as you go through peer review. Again, you're not the writer, right? You're simply a reader. And you're not an editor either. So don't feel like you have to adopt any of those roles. Instead, just focus on giving honest feedback. That doesn't mean mean feedback, but just honest feedback on how you're taking what the writer is saying. Okay, good luck.